So, okay, let's go into the DCI assessment specs. We look at the assessment plan for DCI. The assessment plan is the last document behind. If you can turn to page 17 of the AP. Okay, integrated assessment requirements for DCI AD TTT. So you see that in the assessment plan there's only one C category. Okay, and this goes on to the next part. Practicum remains as just a C or NYC. Practicum is not a graded component. In fact, it doesn't even have any credit values. It's just a project for them to do. And if you look at those of you who attended the practicum session, right, you realize that the practicum AP differs to this assessment, meaning they must clear DCI AD, then they can clear practicum. The practicum on its own, there are only 3 PSs. One of them is please refer to the AP, DCI AD and DNA. If they clear the PS. The other 2 PSs is about how they have gone about the practicum project. Okay, the skills project management, EQ, stuff like that, those things. And that comes from, that kind of input comes from the practicum supervisor as well as the PHO coordinator. Okay, we'll give some input and say how has this learner performed, in terms of the softer aspects of the project side. So the practicum AP is just that. It's a very straightforward. It's a practicum AP. There will be a practicum AP. Yeah, and it's very easy to do one. Yeah, correct. So at this point, maybe we go on to the next one, which is the assessment criteria, right? So if you look at the assessment plan, page. So now the requirements that you've gone through, right? If you see page 23, criteria for graded assessment. We are going for this combination of analytical and holistic rubrics. Analytical will be your standard one, the typical criterion reference WSQ assessment. Very straightforward. You will see in the record itself, at least 2, at least 3, cover all of the following, etc. Very standard things that we are very familiar with. But the holistic one will apply for the CM and the CD. So if you see page 24, these are descriptors for CM and CD for DCI. Okay. How this works is, holistic means must be treated in a holistic fashion. So there are bullet points there, doesn't mean must tick the bullet points. Because that will mean we're doing it in a very analytical fashion. The example I keep plugging to that, how we mark English, okay, which I was an English teacher when I first started. So same thing, how we mark compose is you cannot there's no way you can go down to the last tick. It's just an impressionistic marking. Well, you look at we will be given descriptors. What is the A1 descriptor? What's the A2 descriptor? E3. So you get all these things, and they are supposed. Technically, you can see the equal gap in the leveling as you go up. It gets supposed to get better and better. So in terms of spelling, in terms of grammar, in terms of let's say expression, okay. So they will spell out a few descriptors, but we know, and I know because when I mark, so I can have this candidate who very good in the expression. Wow, the story is wonderful. It sucks me in, but got problem in spelling. So then how? Then I cannot. It's not about picking everything already, So at the end of the day, when I step back, I say, what grade does this student deserve? Is it an A2? Is it B3? Is it B4? So then I make the assessment. So it's impressionistic because there's no way I can use that to the fullest. I use it as a guide. Then I step back and say I must consider spelling, grammar, etc. Then I make a call. So it's an impressionistic, holistic call. Okay. Then I say, okay, this one deserves a 69 or whatever. Alright. So how do we then build in some reliability into this assessment? Is I give the same script to another 2 more examiners. I say, can you mark for me? And tell me what mark you give. Wow, sometimes you see this fellow give 55, and I give 80, then siao, 3 of us all different. Then we sit down and say, so we talk it through. So it's a professional discourse, norming, and moderation. So before we start marking the rest of the scripts. So this is how you imagine we approach this assessment. So the C NYC is typical WSQ. Once they get a C, then you take a step back and you say, based on these holistic rubrics, as a guide, not to tick all the way through, where do I see this candidate? Does he remain as a C? Do I see him as a CM? Do I see him as a CD? Got some CM and got some CD, eh? Then how do we make the call? Alright? What we need to do then as a group of assessors is, once you try this out a few times, take some scripts, we sit down in the room and we talk it through. And say, okay, this assessor gives CM. Okay, what do the rest of you think? Oh, no, I'll give a CD some professional discourse. After 1-2 hours, okay, someone makes a call, the IL makes a call, and says it's a CM. The one who want to give CD says, not bad. You know, so but that's how it is. You know, this kind of thing is how assessment systems are run all over the world. Alright, but we need to have that. Okay, so that is how we will try this out. Okay, why is it that we are able to go through with this? Is because this is not a WDA thing. The graded assessment is something that SP, Singapore Poly, and in the past Nanyang Poly and us decided to embark on. The reason behind graded assessment is in the hope that because it's graded assessment, the learners will push themselves a little bit more. And we do see that happening in pockets. I won't say it happens to everybody. Those people who just want to get the diploma, they don't really care about grade. There are people like that. But there are also some who say, I want this. But that grade only appears in the IAL or SP transcript. It does not appear on the WDA cert. Okay? So the reason why we can try this out, which is non-criterion reference, which then goes against everything that WSQ seems to stand for, is because it's only something that ourselves we are trying out. Okay? So in case they ask you, how can you do this? So it's an IR. What we're shooting for with the revamped DCI module is we want to get down to the bones. And central to that is, for example, the blue. One important thing is they need to really sort out the blooms tree, because the blooms will determine what they are going to design. I think a lot of the, I don't know, personally for myself, when I see courseware that's developed, right, either this or elsewhere, is that they say, they want them to be able to do this, but the whole course is knowledge based. The practice is missing. There's no other instructional methods besides lecture and discussion. How to make someone proficient when they are always just talking about it? So that's wrong. To me that's wrong. Fundamentally a design flaw. So you have to look at the blooms and say, where do they sit? So maybe at this point I just jump in, before I go to AD, I jump into the DCI LG itself, page 83, the LG first document, second document. Okay. You see this thing called instructional methods. We took some stuff from this book called Quentin, and it's about first thing, setting up what's the relationship between instructional methods and learning outcomes. Earlier in the module, they will have learned how to, they'll have practiced a little bit on crafting learning outcomes. Learning outcomes are the hardest thing to craft. English background, I also find it, sometimes it's terrible. You sit there, then what's the right word, can't find the word. And plus if you go by Bloom's, there are 3 domains. So it's a very difficult exercise to do, but okay, they'll do some practice on that earlier. And then when it comes to the instructional methods, we need to then link instructional methods to learning outcomes. And say, if it's based on this domain and this level, what kind of instructional method is useful? Okay? So this is a part that they need to be very clear about. Okay, there are many ways to do it, sequencing, etc. But the key thing then is, number one, to begin with, a lot of them come in with very little knowledge of instructional methods, because the one that they're exposed to is from school, which is teacher, then I listen, then once in a while I go your homework, things like that, then maybe some discussion, that's about it. So there is actually a big range of instructional methods that's out there that you can catch on. So first thing, expose them to the fact that there's a whole range of instructional methods. Okay. Second thing, then how do you then select the methods? Because I like all these methods, but I don't know what to use for what. So on page 86, you see the beginning of 3 different matrices, and they are then typed with groups. That means what instructional method is useful for what level and what groups. Okay, so 86, 87, 88. You'll see a lot of instructional methods in there. Okay, from field trip to role play to reflection, debate, etc. Then you say, I can actually use this. So this is the science bit of instructional design. It's quite standard one. You really you can argue about it, of course, and say I can use this instructional method for this other domain, fine. But basically the point behind it is that there is a science to this, and you cannot go very far wrong. So when we come to this, then of course the next step they will ask is, very good, now I know this instructional method good for what blooms, but I don't know anything about the instructional methods themselves. Okay? So, sorry? So that's where the videos all kick in. So you see that all this field trip, role play, reflection, debate, all these are there is a video resource that accompanies every one of them. So let me just show you one.
Show rather than tell. That's the objective of using demonstration as an instructional method in class. The facilitator demonstrates a task and encourages the learners to do the same. It's fun, interactive, and helps the learners to remember better. In the following video, demonstration is used to teach learners how to make a good first impression. We all know the importance of making a good first impression for an interview, meeting, or even that first date. So today we'll learn how to make a good first impression, and the best way is to show you how. After which you'll each get a chance to practice in class. There are a total of 7 steps. Smile, shake hands, introduce yourself, speak clearly, have a positive image, maintain eye contact, and sit only when invited. To start, we'll focus on the first 3. Smile, shake hands, and introduce yourself. When you come into a room, smile. Facial expression is really important in the making of a good first impression, but make sure your smile is not forced or false.
Yeah, so what kind of smile is acceptable? Friendly?
Let's go for I'm nice and warm. I'm a fun person who loves to chat, but make sure you're not scary or overly excited. Next, give a good handshake. A good handshake is firm and stable, like this. Firm and stable. Now make sure we maintain eye contact, because eye contact shows confidence. Next, introduce yourselves. Why do we have to introduce ourselves?
Because the person doesn't know you.
That's right, the person meeting you for the first time does not know you. So you can say, hi, I'm Haslina and I've been a trainer for 5 years. Introducing yourself also kind of breaks the tension, and it gives the first few seconds a conversation topic. Alright, let's have you try it out. But remember to observe what everyone is doing so you know what's going right and maybe what improvements can be made. Any volunteers? Great. Great smile. Now what's next? Firm handshake, but remember we're supposed to maintain eye contact because it shows confidence. Now let's try that again. Good. Now you're ready to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Marnie. I'm from IAL and I'm here to conduct training.
Almost there, Marnie, because we don't know what IAL is. So we'll say it in full, Institute for Adult Learning. Let's go.
Sure. Hi, I'm Marnie. I'm from Institute
For Adult Learning.
and I'm here to conduct training.
That's great. Good job. We're ready to make a good first impression.
Hi James, how are you doing?
Hey Craig.
Done with the video?
Oh yes, the last one I watched was on demonstration. Very interesting teaching method, I must say.
Although the video shows only one learner practicing, you can actually break them up into smaller groups and get them to practice.
Oh, okay. It's good for bigger groups.
And you can combine that method with other methods. For example, peer coaching.
And have the peers observe and note down mistakes and things done well.
Very good. You're becoming an expert, James.
Well, it's all thanks to you, Craig. Come, I treat you to coffee.
But it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
So, in the DCI module on the LMS, all these videos are there with notes on the instructional methods itself. Let's say you categorize them under the direct, the interactive, different types of methods, right? And if you go in, there will be some notes on it. It's like a little learning unit on its own. Okay, very much a very self-contained learning lesson, very short one. Inside this environment, it is, as I said, created in a little learning unit way. So they can actually just spend 10-15 minutes, and then taken through, being instructed to do something. The YouTube is just a video. You see, just now I see those two guys, right, who appeared at the end, right? There is actually a whole story behind it. So it's basically that Indian guy, who is coming in and he wants to learn to be a good facilitator. So he's struggling. So there are two other characters who come in. One of them is the sage, and one is the cynic. So through putting through all these little instructional methods, right, then they have a little discussion. That's why you see all these little snippets at the end. So from a completeness perspective, the LMS outlines that for them. From a YouTube video, it's a bit choppy. We see this being played out in a training environment. So from a developer perspective, I then need to know how can I work in the steps. So we try to list the sequence, etc. And this is where when one of the days of the 69 hours, right, is an e-learning day. They don't come to class. Okay? They will just engage with these methods. So there's a one activity, alright, which is a whole day activity. They go in, instructions is to pick up each group or something, work on 4, then come up with some report, alright, on the instructional methods. And they come to class the next day and share. So one full day of this. And this A3, the instructional methods matrix, is where all these stems from. The notes of facilitation, the steps, everything is all found here. Alright? I didn't use the cognitive, I didn't use the Blooms, but I used it in terms of, if you're talking about knowledge or skills, and possible level of it. So this is something that will be given to the learners, you can give to the learners at the end, okay, of the whole instructional methods activity. You say, hey, choose carefully, choose wisely. Don't just anyhow pampa. Oh, I wanted to play games, but I also don't know for what. So there must be a purpose behind the way they choose the instructional methods. Okay. So this is, I say, this is a central piece of the DCI module, because the core of any good courseware is that the right methods are used, okay, to achieve the right learning outcomes. So I think that's something that's missing in IB at the moment. Yeah, so we build this into the module. So imagine this is just do a practice. So now I want a demonstration. 15 such videos, from role play to field trip to debate, brainstorming. There are 15 of them, more than enough for them to start off with, Bearing in mind, very importantly, that a lot of our base learners really don't have exposure to these kind of things. If they come from industry and there's always been only one way of doing it, then this should open up their horizons a bit and say, hey, actually I can use this, So and just on the one demonstration, it's a bit stilted, meaning the content is a bit, but have to, because we need to keep it very generic, that anyone can, no need to cross the hurdle of the content and know what they're talking about. We have to keep it very generic. But you can imagine it can be ported over to another context quite easily. For example, operating a cash register. Okay, so using demonstration as an instructional method to operate, to learn how to operate a cash register, can be done very easily with the same steps. See, so that's something that we would like the learners to find it practical and easy to use immediately.